Welcome to Lesson 5. In this lesson, we will examine a series of rules that are of a different nature than the rules that have been examined in previous lessons. In this 5th lesson, we will discuss the rules regulating the means of implementations. What are these means of implementations? There are systems, mechanisms, tools that should prevent the violation of the rules protecting the victims of armed conflict. And when violations have been committed, under this heading of implementation, one finds a number of rules that regulate the repression of the violations and the punishments of those who have committed the most serious breaches of the rules of international humanitarian law. In this 5th lesson, we will discuss 3 types of provisions. There are a number of preventive measures that must be taken before armed conflicts. Among these preventive measures, there is, for instance, the obligation to disseminate as widely as possible, to teach as widely as possible the rules, so that combatants will, when and if involved in an armed conflict, will respect them. The second set of provisions are characterized as means of control. They apply during armed conflict, and they are supposed to prevent as much as possible the commission of violations of the rules. And among these means of control, we will examine the role of the so-called protecting powers. The role is played by the International Committee of the Red Cross in the control of the application, and also the role played by the United Nations organization during armed conflict in order to prevent violations. The final part of this 5th lesson will be spent discussing the rules regulating the repression of the violations. In the treaties of international humanitarian law, but also in other treaties like the Rome Statute or the Statute of the International Criminal Court, there are a number of rules that aim at repressing, at punishing those who have committed the most serious violations of international humanitarian law. War crimes are in fact the most serious violations of IHL, and in this part we will discuss the system of criminal repression and the respective role of domestic courts, civilians or military courts, and of international courts. We will finish this 5th lesson with a few comments on the means of implementation of the rules regulating non-international armed conflict. Again, they are less developed than those applicable to international armed conflict, but they are very similar with some distinction. Thank you.